Better known for its uncensored adult humor than wholesome moments, the graphic obscenity that the producers have achieved with some paper and stop-motion animation would have gotten them canceled years ago. And wholesome? That's an adjective we wouldn't normally associate with a show like South Park. But even a show like South Park, with all its F-bombs, black comedy, and offensive jokes, has its emotionally redeeming moments. Here are a few that made our list. Starting with number 10, the pandemic hamsters were some of the cutest things in the series. We expect some pretty grotesque twists from this show. They could be building up to a cheesy moment only to take a sharp turn in the opposite direction. In this episode, giant creatures attack the town, and the news, as portrayed in the episode, has viewers expecting some scarily menacing monsters to show up. But our expectations are subverted when instead of rabid monsters, we're shown live-action hamsters. They are oversized for the town and take viewers completely by surprise, but their cuteness makes for a super wholesome episode, definitely deserving of a spot in the top 5 of this list. After that, at number 9, the episode where Randy saves Stan in World of Warcraft. What many may not know about this episode is that it almost wasn't aired. Trey Parker thought that he hadn't done a very good job with it and considered not releasing it. Lucky for us, he went against his gut and took a chance. Make Love, Not Warcraft received great reviews and critical acclaim. It even won a Primetime Emmy Award and became a fan favorite. In this episode, Stan's dad, Randy, finds out that his son's character could be killed in World of Warcraft. He springs into action almost instantly to take control of a stranger's car and punt a child off the closest functional computer to log into the game himself. He hands Stan's character the only weapon that can defeat the rogue player. When Randy is killed, he tells Stan that he loves him right before dying in his arms. Then, at number 8, we have Preschool, an episode where Shelly stands up for and protects Stan. In this episode, we see the boys pushing Trent Boyett to start a fire so they can play firemen and put it out. When they lose control of the fire, their teacher, Miss Claridge, ends up being burned horribly. The boys let Trent take the blame for it all, and he ends up in juvenile detention. When his time in juvie ends, the boys fear for their safety. The boys turn to the 6th graders for protection, but Trent absolutely annihilates all of them. The boys then realize that the only person tough enough to stand up against Trent is Stan's sister, Shelly. We usually see Shelly bullying Stan and his friends, calling them turds, and beating Stan to a pulp. This time, though, she agrees to help. The rest of the episode is wholesome because it shows Shelly protecting her brother without being cheesy about it. It proves that she really does love him and shows a different side of the siblings' relationship, one that we don't normally get to see. Also, at number 7, the episode where Kyle accepts Ike is especially moving. When the boys are confused about circumcision, they try to save Kyle's brother from what they assume would be a threatening procedure. Kyle smuggles his brother to Nebraska to rescue him, but over the journey, he learns that Ike is adopted. This initially makes him question their bond. To convince Kyle that they are real brothers, Ike pulls out a photo album, flipping through the pages to take Kyle down memory lane. It's a wholesome scene that shows that people don't need to be related by blood to have a brotherly bond. Kyle is moved and accepts Ike as his brother. Up next, at number 6, an episode in season 7 shows Butters' beautiful sadness. Here's another tearjerker. Butters falls in love with a girl working at Raisins, the equivalent of Hooters in the show. Sadly, he learns that the girl he had believed he was in a relationship with is actually just a server who had been flirting with him to get more tips. The revelation has him down in the dumps, but still not sad enough to hang out with the goths. Butters' words are the most beautiful part of this episode. The only way I could feel this sad now is if I felt something really good before. So I have to take the bad with the good. So I guess what I'm feeling is like a beautiful sadness. Wow, no one was expecting an insightful lament like that to come from a South Park character. Number 5. In another one, we get to see Cartman and Shelly teaming up. When Shelly babysits Cartman, she invites her uncomfortable evil older boyfriend, Skylar, to hang out as she babysits. Skylar pressures 12-year-old Shelly to get physical with him, and when she refuses, he breaks up with her. All too real. Skylar's character is not wholesome. What was wholesome about this episode, though, was Cartman and Shelly forming a temporary alliance to teach Skylar a lesson. This was especially moving because Cartman never helps people, and Shelly never teams up with the boys. The situation in this episode proves to be the best chance for both. At number 4, when Kip Geordy gets a friend. We see Kip Geordy spending pretty much every hour of every day alone in his bedroom, with nothing but his sad clown poster to keep him company. He has a total of 0 Facebook friends until he receives a friend request from Kyle. The absolute joy of being added as a friend was as wholesome as it was sad. Kip ran off to tell his parents that he'd made a friend. He's shown getting super excited about every online update by Kyle, and even takes his laptop to the cinema to watch a movie with Kyle's profile up on the screen. The episode follows Kyle's reputation taking a hit because of Kip, to which he responds by unfriending poor Kip, a truly crushing moment in the show's history. Thankfully, though, we get a wholesome end when Kip gains 845,323 online friends after Stan's evil mega profile is defeated. Into the top 3, mysterious interaction with Karen earns a top spot in the top 3. When Kenny's parents are arrested, he and his siblings are also sent off to a foster home to help his sister get through what is obviously a difficult time for all of them. Kenny adopts his alter ego, Mysterion. He uses his gravelly Batman voice, trademark cape, and question mark ensemble to watch over and protect Karen from bullies at their new school. He even pops up at her window at night to comfort her and help her sleep peacefully. Just the way Kenny shows up for his sister and so lovingly protects her was wholesome and very touching. You'd need to have a heart of stone to not feel the emotions in this episode. At one point, Mysterion whispers these words to little Karen: "You are not alone. No matter where you go, no matter what you do, I will always be here." Next, at number 2, we've got Stan's musical moment in Elementary School Musical. When a musical craze sweeps over the school, the boys are left pretty unimpressed. They cannot understand the hype behind all of it, and initially aren't too willing to fit in this time. Eventually, though, Stan caves when he sees his girlfriend losing interest in him. He makes the difficult decision to step up and jump on the bandwagon. To join in, he spontaneously bursts into his own rendition of Someone's in the Kitchen with Dinah. The song by no means is any good. He sings horrifically, and no one watching joins in. Okay, so he doesn't quite hit the mark with his performance, but he definitely commits. His commitment to the bit, despite the awkwardness of it all, is so precious that we can't help but be moved by it. Finally, at number 1, the episode with Satan's identity crisis ranks first on our list. Satan's existential crisis in this episode becomes a deeply philosophical musing with the realization that there can be no good without evil. So it has to be good to be evil sometimes. Definitely a thought-provoking one. Satan starts off with a touching lament about his desire to leave the underworld and join the actual world. The musical number, Up There, is about him gaining dominion over Earth, and instead of causing misery or chaos, enjoying the beauty of the moral world while doing things like trekking, hugging babies, and sailing a cruise ship. Even though it's a satirical musical ballad, there's something wholesome about the most evil being in all of existence admitting that he doesn't always like how he is perceived. The episode ends with Through the Eyes of a Child as the end credits song, which is a parody of the award bait song. This song is a perfect example of South Park's wit, combining satire with poignancy. The lyrics are all about the innocence of children and is a memorable piece in the series. Well, that's all we have for you guys today. Are you a South Park fan? Which of these episodes did you think were wholesome? Can you think of any others? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments below. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share, and hit the subscribe button for more content just like this.